Hello everybody, this is Jay the Geek, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the MacBook Air 11-inch versus the MacBook Air 13-inch. Which one should you buy? Now, specs are important when choosing your MacBook Air, but I'm not going to focus on specs in this video. Instead, I'm going to focus on the general form factor and usability of each device versus the other. Some quick minor differences between the 11-inch and 13-inch that probably won't be too big of a determining factor for most, but might be a determining factor for some, are the addition of the SD card slot on the 13-inch, which is absent on the 11-inch, so if you're a frequent photographer, it may be more convenient for you to plug in the SD card directly to the laptop rather than having to buy a separate USB adapter. And also the 13-inch has a 16:10 aspect ratio, whereas the 11-inch has a 16:9 aspect ratio. That means you won't have black bars on the 11-inch when watching a 16:9 movie or video. For some, this will make a big difference if you watch a lot of video, but for others, the 16:10 aspect ratio will be better because it gives you more vertical screen space for working. Now, for me personally, I have the 11-inch and I don't find the 16:9 aspect ratio to be hard to work with. I think it's just fine. But if you are the kind of person who likes a 16:10 aspect ratio, then that could be a determining factor between the two models. Apart from these little differences, the larger differences are the screen size and the amount of battery life that each model has. These are probably going to be the most important determining factors between the two, since the processor and amount of RAM that you can configure each with are exactly the same. The MacBook Air 11-inch has an astonishing 9 hours of battery life, and this is plenty to get you through your workday. Now, the 13-inch has 12 hours of battery life, and that's 3 hours more, but in an average workday, this isn't going to make a whole lot of difference. Now, granted, these numbers are for light usage, although they are pretty accurate. If you start to do more powerful tasks, they're going to go down quicker. But overall, 3 hours difference in battery life is not going to make a huge difference. They're both going to be able to get you through the workday, so if you like one side over the other, you shouldn't really worry about battery life too much. For example, if you like the 11-inch more than the 13-inch, you shouldn't worry about it not having enough battery life because it has plenty. So overall, the decision should come down to screen size. And it's not just screen size, but more about form factor as well. So which size MacBook Air should you get? Well, this is going to be a debate between many users because a lot of people prefer the 11-inch and a lot of people prefer the 13-inch. And ultimately, it is a preference. I can't decide for you. Most likely, you're going to have your own preferences in screen size. The best way to determine is to use the two in an Apple store or a Best Buy or any other local store that sells both models where you can compare them side by side and figure out if the 11-inch is too small or if the 13-inch feels too big or if the 13-inch is too heavy or any other things that could impact your decision like weight or size. Or you could just find something that you can't stand about the 13-inch or can't stand about the 11-inch. Ultimately, a video can't substitute for actual real-world usage in a store between the two models. But I know you're watching this video to decide which one is better, so I am going to give recommendations. And being an owner of the 11-inch personally, I will say that the 11-inch is a perfect size for just about anyone now. I know that sounds a little bit opinionated because I do love the 11-inch, as I stated in my previous video why I love the MacBook Air 11-inch. I already made a whole video of why I love it, so, you know, obviously, I prefer the 11-inch over the 13-inch. Now, I have never owned a 13-inch laptop. I've never owned a laptop larger than 11 inches, so 11 inches feels just right to me. But there are times when I wonder if I would like the 13-inch. But I then decided that I could just get an external monitor and get way more screen than 13 inches and still have the ultra portability of the 11-inch. And I think this is the best option for many users. And this is because the 11-inch MacBook Air has such an awesome form factor. It's like an iPad. You can take it with you anywhere. You can use it in bed. You can use it in a chair, in a beanbag. You can fit it easily on the desk next to books or whatever work you're doing. It just is so easy to pick up and go around the house or in your bag. It just is so nice to use. It's so comfortable, and for me, it has such an awesome form factor. And just from my experience of using the 13-inch in store, I find the 11-inch so much nicer to use. So by buying an external monitor, I get a ton of screen space, way more than 13 inches would offer. But I also get the ultra portable and just really awesome form factor of the 11-inch that I love. And I say that it makes sense for many users because I think people will be either using it at home or using it for portability. So the 11-inch is perfect for portability, but it's also great for home use with an external monitor because, like I said, it gives you the better form factor and the larger screen of the monitor. So I think for home use, this makes the most sense. It makes better sense than the 13-inch, and for portability, it makes more sense because The 11-inch is more portable than the 13-inch. In fact, it's a lot more portable than the 13-inch. It's half a pound lighter, and it is a much smaller footprint. Now, if you're a frequent traveler, I would recommend the 13-inch if you absolutely want the most screen size possible. I would recommend the 11-inch normally to a frequent traveler, but if you're the kind of person who's doing photo and video editing on the go, I would say that it makes the most sense to get the largest screen possible, while still being thinner and lighter than something like a MacBook Pro Retina would be. Now, this is still just my personal opinion. If you like the 13-inch better, then that's perfectly fine, and that's why hands-on experience in the store between the two models is most important, and more important than any advice that I can give. So there you have it, the MacBook Air 11-inch versus the MacBook Air 13-inch. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe, and comment if you have any particular questions about your usage case, which MacBook Air would be right for you. I'll be happy to help you guys out. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.